The bridge stood where the river narrowed, a simple span of iron and weathered wood that most people crossed without noticing. It connected two halves of the town that had slowly learned to live apart, old stone houses on one side, newer concrete buildings on the other. People said the river had always divided more than land. It divided habits, voices, and sometimes hearts. On a pale morning when the mist still clung to the water, no one imagined that a single, quiet gesture would begin to change that. Amir crossed the bridge every day at the same hour. His steps were careful, measured, as if he counted them to keep his thoughts in order. He was a clerk at the municipal records office, a place where paper remembered what people tried to forget. Amir liked the predictability of his routine, the same tea vendor at the corner, the same stray cat sleeping near the railing, the same breeze carrying the smell of damp iron. Predictability felt safe. It asked nothing of him. That morning, the bridge felt colder than usual. Amir pulled his coat tighter and kept his eyes forward. Halfway across, he noticed someone standing near the railing, a woman, older than him, with silver hair pulled back in a loose knot. She leaned on a wooden cane and stared down at the water, her face still, as if listening to something no one else could hear. Amir hesitated. He was not a man who stopped for strangers. He believed in minding his own path, especially on the bridge, where people rarely spoke. But something about the woman's posture, how her shoulders curved inward, how her free hand trembled slightly, made him slow his steps. As he passed, the woman shifted her weight. The cane slipped on a damp plank. The sound was small, a dull knock against wood, but it echoed sharply in Amir's chest. Without thinking, he turned back. "Careful," he said, reaching out. His hand did not touch her, not yet. It hovered, unsure. The woman looked up, surprise flickering across her face, followed by a tired smile. "Thank you," she said. Her voice was thin but steady. "I didn't expect the boards to be so slick." Amir nodded, embarrassed by the sudden attention. He took a step closer, offering his arm. "Would you like help crossing?" For a moment, she studied him, as if weighing more than the distance to the other side. Then she placed her hand on his sleeve. It was light, almost hesitant, but warm. They walked slowly. Amir matched her pace, though it meant arriving late to work. He told himself it didn't matter. The records office would still be there. The bridge, however, seemed different, longer, quieter, as if it noticed them too. "My name is Layla," the woman said after a while. "Amir," he replied. "I used to cross this bridge every day," Layla said. "Before my husband passed. We lived on the old side, worked on the new. After he died, I stopped coming here. Today felt important." Amir didn't know what to say. He had never been good with grief, his own or anyone else's. So he listened. Sometimes listening felt like the only kindness he could manage. When they reached the end of the bridge, Layla released his arm. "You didn't have to stop," she said. "But you did." Amir shrugged. "It was nothing." She smiled again, this time softer. "Nothing can still build something." They parted ways, and Amir continued to work, his mind strangely unsettled. All day, he thought of the bridge and the feel of Layla's hand on his sleeve. It was such a small moment, barely worth remembering, yet it lingered like a question he couldn't quite answer. The next morning, Amir crossed the bridge as usual. The mist was thinner, the river clearer. Halfway across, he saw Layla again, standing near the same spot. This time, she was not alone. A young boy stood beside her, holding her cane with both hands as if it were something precious. Amir slowed. Layla noticed him and waved. "This is my grandson, Sammy," she said when Amir approached. "He wanted to see the bridge I keep talking about." Sammy looked up at Amir with wide eyes. "Is it true you helped my grandmother?" he asked. Amir felt his face warm. "I just walked with her." Sammy nodded solemnly. That's helping. They crossed together, the boy chattering about school and birds and how the river looked like moving glass. Amir found himself smiling more than he had in months. When they reached the other side, Layla thanked him again, and Sammy saluted him before running ahead. As Amir walked on, he noticed something he hadn't before: other people had slowed too. A man pushing a cart waited patiently to let them pass. A woman with headphones removed one earbud and smiled at Sammy's laughter. The bridge, usually a place of hurried footsteps and averted eyes, seemed briefly alive. Days passed, and Amir began to notice small changes. Someone had left a potted plant near the railing, its leaves bright against the gray iron. Another day, chalk drawings appeared on the planks, simple flowers and suns, washed away by evening rain but returning the next morning. People began to greet each other with nods, sometimes with words. Amir told himself it was coincidence. Towns changed slowly, if at all. A single gesture could not be responsible for so much. Yet each morning, he felt lighter crossing the bridge, as if something invisible had been lifted. One afternoon, as he walked home, Amir saw two men arguing near the middle of the bridge. Their voices were sharp, cutting through the air. Others passed by quickly, pretending not to hear. Amir felt the old instinct to keep moving, to stay out of trouble. Then he saw Layla standing a few steps away, her cane planted firmly, her face calm. "Gentlemen," she said, not loudly, but clearly. "This bridge has room for both of you." The men paused, surprised. One of them scoffed, but the other glanced at Layla, then at the people watching. The tension eased, just a little. Amir stepped closer, his presence quiet but steady. "Let's all take a breath," Amir said. For a moment, it felt fragile, like glass about to shatter. Then one man sighed, the anger draining from his shoulders. "I'm late," he muttered. "So am I," the other replied. They moved on, the argument dissolving into the sound of footsteps. Layla looked at Amir, her eyes bright. "You see," she said. "It spreads." That evening, Amir sat by his window, thinking about how easily he could have walked past her that first morning. How the bridge would have remained just a crossing, nothing more. He wondered how many other moments he had missed, how many chances for connection he had ignored. The following weeks brought more changes. A small bench appeared at the center of the bridge, someone having carried it there plank by plank. People began to sit, to watch the river, to talk. Musicians played softly in the evenings. Children leaned over the railing, counting ripples. Amir started bringing extra tea from the vendor to share with anyone sitting nearby. It felt awkward at first, offering cups to strangers, but the smiles he received made the awkwardness fade. He learned names, fragments of stories. The bridge became a place where lives brushed against each other, gently but persistently. One rainy morning, Amir did not see Layla. He crossed the bridge alone, feeling a small ache of worry. The next day, she was still absent. On the third day, Amir found Sammy waiting near the railing, his face serious. "My grandmother is sick," the boy said. "She asked me to tell you she's sorry she can't come." Amir felt something tighten in his chest. "May I visit her?" he asked, surprising himself. Sammy nodded. She would like that. Layla's house was small and warm, filled with the smell of soup and old books. She lay on a couch near the window, a blanket pulled up to her chin. When Amir entered, her face lit up. "You crossed without me," she teased weakly. "It wasn't the same," Amir replied, sitting beside her. They talked quietly. Layla spoke of her husband, of the years when the bridge was new and hope felt easier. Amir listened, holding her hand when her voice faltered. It felt natural now, this closeness, as if the bridge had extended beyond the river and into their lives. When Layla recovered enough to walk again, Amir was there the first day she returned. People noticed. Someone clapped softly. Someone else brought flowers. Layla laughed, surprised by the attention. I only accepted help, she said. I didn't mean to start anything. Amir shook his head. You reminded us to look at each other. Time moved on, as it always does. Seasons changed. The bridge weathered storms and sun. People still hurried sometimes, still argued, still forgot. But something had shifted. Kindness had found a foothold, and it held. Years later, when Amir was older and walked more slowly, he often paused at the center of the bridge. He would watch strangers greet each other, children offer hands to elders, people stop instead of rushing past. He knew the truth, simple and quiet: bridges are not only built from iron and wood. They are built from moments when someone chooses to stop, to reach out, to see another person. All it had taken was a single gesture.